Hello, everyone. It's Susan Hill and Susan Blueberry Hill, by the way. And I'm going to tell you how I got started. This is my origin story. So, I was 40 years old and I had just recently been divorced. And I'd sold my house. It was my house, by the way. And so I had a lot of money. I sold it at the top of the market. And I had read a book by the financial advisor Susie Orman, and she said if you have a house, she caters to women. If you have a house and then you sell it, and she said if you're not doing the work that you feel is coming from your heart, that's filling your soul with passion, she said you shouldn't buy another house. She said because you're going to be a slave to that house, and you're just going to be doing work that's unfulfilling. So she doesn't recommend that. She said you want to be doing what you're meant to do. So instead of buying another house, she said, take the money and invest it in yourself with education and experiences that will bring you closer to living your life, doing the work that you want to do. I thought, this is really good advice. So I took the money and I did some traveling, and it really opened me up to new possibilities. And then I made a decision that I was going to move to Southern California. And I really wasn't sure what was out there. It was sort of an intuitive sense of kind of just going with my intuition about this. It wasn't logical, and probably most people would think I was crazy. Maybe I was. Maybe I still am. But I followed the inner calling to go out there. And I drove 3,000 miles across the country from New England all the way out to Southern California. And when I got there, it was very, very different way of life, like a completely different universe. And it was very shocking. And it was difficult, though, because right kind of when I got there, just a few months later, we had the economic crash in 2008. And life as we knew it completely changed just about overnight. And I couldn't find work that I was able to pay my bills. And so it totally just sucked the life out of my savings. I had nothing left. And it was really, really hard. And I really struggled. And then I got evicted. It was really tough. And so luckily, I was able to get some money. I moved to a new place, but it just sort of kept happening. And I was stuck kind of in this perpetual cycle of feeling victimized. Like, why are all these bad things happening? I just couldn't get any grounding anywhere, any traction. And then I had to go to bankruptcy because it was the only way I saw to get out of the debt. And then from there, my dog got really sick, and I had to have an expensive surgery to save his life. It cost me $7,000 that I didn't have. And then he ended up dying, and I was crushed. And then I ended up getting fired, right? Because I was so sad. And then the place I was living, they sold it. And so I got kicked out and I became homeless. And then I had to live in my car. And I was just like, I don't know what is happening. Like, this is crazy. And then I found another place to live, like, luckily. And then I ended up getting a DUI, and I got arrested, and I was put in jail. And I remember looking up at the jail cell at the ceiling, and I was like, God, what is happening to me? Like, what, like one bad thing after another. And then it just came to me. This is what has kept me away from the life that I want to lead. Having a successful career and just feeling really good about myself. And so I realized that I had to quit drinking, and I did right there in the jail cell. That was it for me. And it's been 9 years and I haven't touched it. I haven't had any alcohol, and I don't even want it. It was like an immediate healing. It was a profound experience. And so then, you know, the whole process of going through the DUI, and so I had like a month before my license was going to be taken away, and then I was being stuck in LA without any transportation. It was like crazy, right? So I just said, you know, what is happening? Why do these things keep happening? You know, like, what do I do? I just became very introspective, and I heard the voice. It came to me and it said, you must go to Agape International Spiritual Center. And I had heard about this place, but I didn't really know what it was. And I knew Reverend Michael Beckwith was the spiritual director and the pastor there, the lead pastor. So I went there and I was scared. And I walked in and I was, oh my God, it was this incredible love that just flooded over me. This is love that I have never felt in my whole life. By not even my family members did I feel this love. It was an incredible place. And I have to say, you know, it didn't happen overnight, but my plan was, you know, I'm gonna take to heart everything I learned, all the spiritual principles, and I'm gonna just practice. And that's how I began. I began my spiritual practice of meditation, spiritual study, fellowship, you know, tithing, the whole bit. And mostly it was redirecting my mind to go fall back to the principles of truth. And it didn't happen overnight. It took me a while, but step by step, you know, things would happen, like synchronicities, like, you know, I needed money, and then all of a sudden, boom, I would get money magically, almost, it seemed. I needed to meet somebody, and I would meet that person. I needed a certain book, and I would find it. Like, just this intuition was really heightened for me, and I was connecting with the guidance and the wisdom of the universe, which is based in love, you know. And so I just found it so difficult to really get my grip on this income thing. And so what I had to do is I really had to double down on these spiritual principles. And when I did that, when I really created a very strong, like, okay, I'm going to meditate every single day, no matter what. I am going to meditate. I am going to read truth. I am going to pray and affirm my life every single day. And when I did, everything changed. And so now, going through this process of learning and understanding that I thought life was happening to me, right? I thought that I was a victim. I had no control over my life, and I felt I was in a weakened state through all this. But what I learned through this journey of transformation is that the power was within me all along. I was just placing my attention on false beliefs, the false narrative that, you know, we're poor, that life is hard, that, you know, there's a struggle and all of this. And not to say that you're not going to go through challenges, but when you place your attention on what you do have and you're grateful for that, there's something that happens within you. You become more powerful because your awareness now is on good, what's good. So, like I said, it didn't happen overnight, but through this process, I realized that this is powerful information, that life wasn't happening to me, but life was happening for me. Because what seems like a negative thing, what seems like an obstacle, is really more of a springboard that you can leap off of into more of who you are. So my journey to set forth across the United States to uncover who I really am happened. I realized that these teachings that I was granted access to because of my desire and intention to find out who I was, is what I'm bringing to the world now. And I want to invite you to take a look at this, because this changed my life, and it can change your life too. So there's my origin story, and I want to thank you for listening, and you have a bright and shiny day. Peace.